So is cycling weight bearing? If you're wondering that question, you're probably a little concerned about your bones, and I'm going to explain to you why A, it is not weight bearing, but B, what you can still do to enjoy your cycling and keep your bones safe. So I'm Margaret Martin at Miller Guide. I'm a registered physiotherapist, and I've been devoting my practice for the last 15 years to aging well through exercise. So why is it not weight bearing? I guess one of the first things would be to understand what weight bearing is, and I have a blog dedicated just to understanding what weight bearing is. So if you want to understand weight bearing specifically in its whole context, I would watch that. But in regards to cycling, when you think about it, your foot is never making contact with the ground. And so when it comes to weight bearing, when we land on something hard, whether it's a rock, the harder you land, then the more the force that's being taken up through the limb that's making contact with that surface. That never happens with cycling. All your weight is either on your saddle or on your pedal. And so that's one of the things that makes cycling a non-weight bearing exercise. Even when we get up, you go, well, but I work really hard when I'm climbing hills. I know, I've been there, I've done lots of hills. But what do? We get out of the saddle and we put the weight through our arms. So we could say, yes, there's some weight bearing through the upper body, but generally not enough to make any substantial changes to the body. And then when you think about cycling, it's not an activity you do and you're pedaling hard for 10 repetitions the way you would doing 10 heavy squats. You're doing hundreds and thousands of repetitions, and that makes cycling more of an endurance sport. And we know that endurance sports aren't as good for our bones as strength. Those are the reasons why cycling is not a weight-bearing exercise, and it's not an efficient exercise for strengthening our bones. I don't want to say, oh, you shouldn't cycle, but how to make it so that you can still enjoy your cycling, but keep your bones protected. So one, consider making your rides shorter. That's going to allow you more time to do some weight bearing. So you're not going to expend all your energy cycling and then go, oh, I really don't feel like doing a workout now. The other thing is to make your rides more intense. That means choosing routes that have a little bit more hills, or even challenging yourself and go, I'm going to sprint, from, this corner to that corner, ride as hard as I can so that you do get more loading and more strengthening through the cycle. The next thing you could do to make your biking more effective for you, if you've made your rides shorter, now you have time to add more weight bearing. And so for ideas on other weight bearing activities, I encourage you to go through my playlist and find some things that you can enjoy doing that will still, challenge your cardiovascular system, work on your strength, but also, and more importantly, focus on keeping your bones safe. And very lastly, in regards to keeping your bones safe, is for you to consider protective gear. We wear glasses to keep our eyes safe. We, wear bright clothes so that we were safer from cars so they can see us. But if you took a spill or a tumble off of a bike and when you know that you have low bone density, you're much higher, your risk of a fracture is much higher. And because of the velocity of the bike, your risk of a more serious fracture is higher. And so consider wearing protective shorts. With cyclists, we generally wear, shorts that protect us on the inside in terms of chafing and making it more comfortable. But we want to wear shorts in the same way that our snowboarders will wear shorts to keep the hips protected from side falls or landing on your butt. So I would highly, suggest that for keeping your hips safe, but also to consider a light spine protection vest as well, which they have designed and make, and they're beautiful for mountain bikers. So with all of that, I really hope that you've managed to adjust your cycling so that you can still get the joy that you do get out of cycling, but that you stay safe. and keep enjoying your rides. So I'm Margaret, Familiar Guide, and thanks so much for tuning in.